All right, hey guys. This is just a follow-up video to the one I put out earlier, and I didn't realize how much was cut off of the board, right? Because I couldn't see that. But just kind of recap, going back through what that one was about, or some of the points. Every time we eat food, right, it causes insulin production in the body. When we eat certain foods, like fatty foods, fried foods, sugary, processed foods like chips, things that we don't need, when we stress, and that stress produces cortisol, those things are contributors to insulin spikes in the body. And an insulin spike is when we have too much and the body doesn't know what to do with it. So it becomes insulin resistant, which is what that's called. And then with the overflow of insulin, it throws what it can't deal with into fat storage, right? So those the fat storage obviously just continues to compound because this process happens frequently in the body. And as that fat storage is being set up over here, also acids and toxins are being set up, right? That's a happy home because more than likely foods like this are causing this to happen. These kinds of foods also cause acid in the body, and toxins live in acidic environments. That's where they thrive. We won't even get into parasites. I didn't even talk about parasites, but parasites also thrive in this environment. Parasites cause cravings. So that's something to know. We can talk more about that later. But those things, right? Kicked up, happy home for all of that. What else contributes to toxins? One of the things I had pointed out was air, our air quality. Our lotions, shampoos, fragrances that we may use, they have chemicals in them. Our body recognizes any chemical, even if it's a medication that you're taking, as foreign, right? Antibodies kick up in the body because it's foreign, and that's our body's protection mechanism. And so then acid is produced, right? It looks at those things as toxins no matter what because it's foreign. That's pretty much what a toxin is to the body. Something that's foreign, it doesn't know what to do with it. It has no home. It produces acid. It sits in there and creates havoc, and it causes inflammation. Okay, and inflammation is at the core of all dis-ease in the body. Almost all. I can't say 100%, but almost all, especially autoimmune diseases and illnesses and things like that. Like, this is the root. One of the things I didn't say, but that's a whole nother video. When all of this stuff starts to happen, it throws the body out of balance. And I did talk about the harmony that we want to put in our body when we eat whole and fresh foods to create alkaline environment and not acidic. But another thing, when the body is in an unbalanced state, it's not in harmony, it can cause hormonal imbalances, which go right back to this. So a lot of times if you hear about insulin, you hear about hormone deficiencies, imbalances, and nutrient deficiencies, because anytime one part of our body is not working properly, it's going to pull from another part to try to at least get in its right rhythm, whether it's successful or not. So every time it pulls from somewhere else to deal with an issue, it throws off that area, which will cause antibodies. So you see, it just keeps going. It just constantly, and then that dis-ease is in the body, right? And the lack of harmony happens in the body, and we feel it. We feel it in our everyday. It may come out as just being tired, and you just don't know why you're so freaking tired for no reason after you eat, right? After you eat, because this is going on, and the body is exhausted because it's working really hard. The filtration systems in your body are really hard at work when this happens. Okay. But I wanted to I won't get too far into another part of this, but this is a really simple model for you to look at and understand what's going on and why there's fat that we can't release, right? These kind of fat storages also contribute to what we call, I got to point this out, sorry, visceral fat. Okay. These are direct contributors to visceral fat, which is the fat that surrounds your organs. We don't want a lot of that, right? That's where, when you look at cholesterol or heart disease and they, want to know what your body fat is, and they're looking at your waist in comparison to your chest and all those different measurements, really what that's giving us a picture of is the visceral fat that's happening in the body, because too much visceral fat around the organs means what else is around our organs? That's right, toxins and acid, which means that organ is overworked because it's compounded with this. Boom. So it means I got to get rid of this. I got to get rid of this. And then we eat again. And then it happens again. And it happens again. And so then you have people who have liver problems because visceral fat surrounding a liver is known as a fatty liver, right? And then it gets too close to some of our organs and then it becomes a part of it. So because fat is soluble, we won't get into that. But there's certain things that even with the acids, right, and the toxins being attached to those fat cells, they can be delivered in other parts of the body because of the fat. But we can also use that to our benefit. So as far as nutrients and absorption of nutrients. So this is just a vicious cycle. I just wanted to give you this for right now. The vicious cycle of what's going on internally. This is why we want to use the whole foods, the fruits and vegetables. We're going to start eliminating these things, one by one in a way that you can do out of the body so that you can start to address this, right? And so we can get the harmony in the body. I don't want to go too long on this one, but I just wanted to make sure you could see the full board and just kind of recap from the other. Okay. All right. Live, learn, grow.